My name is Samantha Pollack. I was born in Suriname and moved to the Netherlands when I was 12 years old. And I'm a content creator on YouTube and also on Instagram, talk about hair and talk about lifestyle. Everything I like, that's what I do.
Okay. So, what was it like growing up in Suriname? Because you spent your early years in Suriname.
I liked it there. I was born in Suriname. I love it in Suriname, still do. When I go to visit my family, go to visit the country, I love everything like the culture, the weather, family, friends. It's green, so I enjoy Suriname.
Mhm. You know, just for people that are from the English-speaking Caribbean, because they might not have been to Suriname for various reasons. I do know people who have been, but
Yeah.
what's one thing that you would tell people from the English-speaking Caribbean to come and see if you go to Suriname?
Um, we call it Binnenland, but it's like the Amazon area. Um, when people go to Suriname, they only go to the city, and the city is Paramaribo, the capital. But that's not really Suriname. I feel that Suriname is like inside the heart of the Amazon, and which I said we call it Binnenland, and that's where you're gonna see the culture. You can go there for what's it called? We call those people Morons. Oh, you know the
Yeah, yeah,
Morons?
yeah.
Yeah, we call them the Morons, and they live in the Binnenland of, yeah, the Amazon area of Suriname. So Suriname is more than Paramaribo. It's more than the capital. So if you're gonna go to Suriname, make sure to visit Amazon area.
Okay. So, with most Caribbean places or the South America, they're connected to former European countries, or European countries obviously because of colonization.
Yeah,
A typical route is a lot of Dutch people, a lot of people
true.
from Curacao, Aruba, Suriname end up in Holland. What was it like for you having to migrate to Holland at an early age?
For me, it was a different story because my mom was in Suriname. Sorry, my mom was in the Netherlands for 7 years. So it took her 7 years to get my sister and I to the Netherlands. It wasn't that easy for her. So for me, it was actually a fun time because I could see my mom again after not after 7 years, because I think in the 7 years she went to Suriname twice, but it took her 7 years to get my sister and me to the Netherlands. So I really enjoyed the Netherlands and still do. I feel that I'm now 29 years old, and the Netherlands is my second home. Suriname my first, and yeah, for me it was a fun period to be in the Netherlands at that age and coming to see my mom again.
In Holland or the area where you live,
Yeah.
is there like a strong Surinese presence, or is there like a lot of businesses that are Surinese that people can actually visit when they go to Amsterdam? That's just a general question.
Like where I'm from, Almere, I don't think there is a lot of Surinamese businesses in Almere. More in Amsterdam and also more in the area southeast of Amsterdam, because there is where southeast is an area where a lot of black cultures are. So such as Surinamese people, Ghanaian people, a lot of, yeah, every different black culture you could say. But in Almere, not really Surinamese businesses there.
Okay.
But there are a lot Surinamese people in Almere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. It's just a general question because I thought maybe is there some particular place or restaurant that you know of that's very popular? Is there like a Surinese special
Not
restaurant?
not in Almere. I don't think that the Surinamese food in Almere is whack. It's really whack.
Yeah.
But the Surinamese food in Amsterdam, it's different. I feel that there are a few Amsterdam Surinamese spots where you can get great foods, such as Spang Makandra. You got Srana Makmur. Also, it's called Marlons, and you also got another name, but you got a few in Amsterdam.
Okay. How did you get involved in hair? What made you want to gravitate to that?
Um, I think as a black girl, I was always interested in hair. But I think if it comes to YouTube and Instagram, when I started my YouTube channel, I think 6 years ago, a lot of people were asking me about my hair care, about the products I use, about how I styled my hair, and I thought that the simplest way and the easiest way to tell people about my hair was making a YouTube video, and that's when I started my YouTube channel. So for me, it was just me showing the world what I do with my hair, and that's also the reason why I started my YouTube channel, and the reason why I was so interested in hair, because back then we didn't had a lot of curly hair products, and also not a lot of curly hair girls doing hair on YouTube. So I think I wanted to make a difference, and I wanted to show people how to style your curly hair, I guess.
Okay. And were you always natural, or did you have to transition?
Yeah, I had to transition because I started off natural, obviously. And then at the age of, I think, 14, when I was in the Netherlands, I saw my sister straightening her hair with perm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted my hair also long and straight, so I asked my mom to straighten my hair. So I did straighten my hair for 2 years or 3 years in the Netherlands. But at the age of 17, I find out the flat iron, so I used the flat iron for a long period of time. But after that, I did the big chop and I embraced my curly hair.
Okay. And that's a long time then. So
I think
10 years. Or
yeah, over 10 years natural, but I had the phases where I used the flat iron and then damaged my hair with heat, and yeah,
okay.
a whole mess.
So some people who want to become natural, what are some of the things that are very important that they should know to take care of their hair, like few general things you can mention.
When you're going natural, you really have to focus on your hair care and not really on length. I get a lot of DMs, a lot of questions about how do you get your hair so long and what do I need to do to let my hair grow. But I think especially in the beginning, you have to focus on the hair care of your hair and not much as length, or not much focusing on length. And what more? Patience? That's all, I guess. Patience. And also in the beginning, you're gonna be a product junkie because you want to test every product, you want to see what product works on your hair. So it's the first year or the first month of being natural, you're gonna test a lot of products and see what products works for your hair.
Okay. I'm used to, obviously, when I was younger, I got my hair done. Obviously, I'm used to watching my sister getting her hair done. And I was thinking to myself, when should a young person really start learning and taking care of their own hair? Because it depends on the age, doesn't it? So when do you think?
I think when you're interested in doing your own hair. For me, example, I wasn't that interested in doing my own hair until I got maybe in middle school. When I was at the age of 15, 16, I started being interested in doing my own hair. Because before that, my grandmother did my hair or my mother did my hair, sometimes my sister. And in middle school, obviously you're gonna be in your, how do you call that?
High school, teenage years.
Yeah, your teenage years, but puberty.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna be in the puberty and you wanna do things yourself. So when I was 15, I started, realizing that my hair, the way my mom did my hair, I didn't like that as much. I wanted my hair to be, I wanted to look a certain type of way. And the way my mom braided my hair, I loved it, but at that age, I wanted my hair different. So I think at the age of 15 for me, I started realizing that I wanted my hair different, and that's when I start focusing on doing my hair myself. But for my sister, she was pretty young when she started doing hair, so I think it's for everybody different. It depends if your child loves doing their hair, and I think that you have to give them the freedom to do their hair and explore.
Okay. Sometimes there's some people that may unfortunately say negative things about black hair, Afro hair. What would you tell that person who thinks negatively about black hair? What advice would you tell them if they think negative about their own
Yeah.
hair? What would you tell them?
Oh, if they're black and they
Mm.
think negative about their own hair.
Mm.
I will say like black hair is the most beautiful hair in the world. You can do so many things with black hair. We have the only type of hair where you can straighten your hair and wash your hair the next day and it will be curly again. And also you can do braids. It's versatile and you can do a lot of things with hair. I think it's a personal thing if you dislike your curly hair, because I feel that maybe you didn't had someone in your environment who embraces their hair. For me, if I think about my own journey, my mom always had beautiful long hair. Not always natural, but she was always proud of her hair. And also my sister, my family, my friends, they had beautiful hair and they also embraced their hair. So I feel that if you're in the right environment, and if you have the right support system, you will automatically love your hair. And also, it comes within, I guess, to embrace your natural hair. But what I would say, it's like we have the most beautiful hair and the most versatile hair. You just have to find a way to love your hair and embrace your hair.
Okay. And what do you think is the most inspirational thing about the natural hair movement? Like today, you can go to. I know there's Essence Fest.
Yeah.
I know there's a festival in New York. The name's left my mind right now. Natural Hair Academy. I'm sure you have a natural hair pageant in Amsterdam. I'm sure.
Yeah.
And we were meant to have curly treats today as well. So a lot of those things. What do you think? And also the bloggers, everything that's on in the internet. What do you think is the most inspirational thing about the natural hair?
It's pretty. How do I say it?
Empowering. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty empowering. Seeing that. As I said, I feel that we miss that as black girls. We missed people telling us that our hair was beautiful and in its natural state it was beautiful. I feel that especially a few years ago, we only thought about our hair as beautiful when it was straight and long. So now I feel that we are more conscious about our natural hair and we see that natural hair is beautiful as well. And for the bloggers and the natural hair festivals and the natural hair events focusing on that part, it's a beautiful thing for us to see that this is who we are and this is my hair and this is your hair. And yeah, I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. The last of these questions, I wanted to ask in terms of what a lot of your image and a lot of people come to your page is that they come for advice, they come for good advice, they come to see your photos, and what a lot of people like is obviously your what I call your wisdom roots, your
Yeah.
grey hair. So what would you tell any woman that's young like yourself that's turning grey and feels a bit negative about it? Because you've embraced it positively and you obviously have a very good following because of that.
Yeah, for me it wasn't that easy as well, because if it was easy I would started embracing my silver hair immediately. But for me as well, I had to go. It was a phase. I start transitioning and I start. No, I start transitioning and then I did the big job. And I think also my support system, it's really important to have a support system for people, friends, family, your mother, your sister, whatever, telling you that your hair is beautiful. That's something really important. And what I will say is find your why. For me, my why was I wanted to stop fighting my gray hairs and I wanted to embrace my silver hair. That was my why. And also the standard norm, I wanted to change the standard norm of beauty, because the standard norm of beauty is not being gray and not being young and gray. So I think those three things were my why. And even though it's not easy to embrace your gray hair, you have to find your why, and don't push it and don't rush it. If you're not ready, don't do it. But for me, I was ready. I was done fighting my grades. I was done coloring my hair. So I think at that time, last year, when I started my silver hair journey, I was done fighting with the world. Patrick, wait a minute, wait a minute. Oh my gosh.
We can start again, no worries. So I'll
What?
just tell you, Edgar Davids,
Yeah.
Patrick Clavert,
Yeah.
and Clarence Seedorf.
Seedorf, of course.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
the football players. I think they're really important for the Surinamese culture. They still do a lot, especially
Clarence Seedorf.
yeah, Seydorf is doing a lot for the Surinamese culture. And now he's in, is it South Africa?
Cameroon.
Oh, Cameroon with Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
They're leading the team there. I don't know what to say about soccer, but
Yeah, but how much pride did they bring? Because I remember when Ajax won the Champions
Yeah.
League, there was obviously all three of them were in the team at the time, and that Dutch team of the 2000s, they could have won the European Championships, but unfortunately they lost
okay.
in the semi-final. So how much pride have those people actually brought to
To the Surinamese culture?
Yeah.
I think a lot, a lot. But the funny thing is that I don't know how it is with other Caribbean countries, but it doesn't matter where the Surinamese people are, if they are in a team or if they are in a different country, you will see the Surinamese flag. So they will be proud of whatever you do if it's a good thing. So it doesn't really matter, but they definitely are important people in the Netherlands for the Surinamese culture. Don't really
Yeah, that's
know
fine.
what to
Also,
say
that's
about
fine.
yeah.
Once you've done, you just
Okay.
move on.
Cynthia McLeod. She is a writer. She writes a lot of. She's a writer and she writes a lot of books about Surinamese culture and Surinamese history as well. I've how do I say reading
Read.
I've read
Yeah.
I've read a lot of books of, not a lot of books, actually two books of Cynthia McLeod. One is about the history about Suriname, and the second one is Hoe duur was de suiker? Like English translation is How expensive was the sugar? There's also a movie about that, and it's a really great book as well. The two books are really nice. I think she's a great writer. Yeah, she's really important for the Surinamese history as well. One people, like if you're from Suriname and you haven't seen One People, are you Surinamese? No, but One People is, it's a great movie. I think it's one of the first Surinamese movie about two different cultures, about Creole and
Indian.
yeah, the Indian. It's about a guy, Roy, who is in love with an Indian woman in Suriname, and because the Indian and Creole cultures are so different, and also back then this movie was, I think, 50 years ago. They made the movie 50 years ago, so the cultures were really different back then. So it was a whole lot of drama about the parents, the lady and Roy and everybody, and also he had a girlfriend, a white girlfriend in the Netherlands. So that was a whole mess. But it's definitely a beautiful movie, and still now it's great quality, and yeah. I think also one important movie in Suriname and also in the Netherlands for Surinamese people. And the 1st of July, this is, we call it Kitikoti, and that means Emancipation Day, Surinamese Emancipation Day. So this is a really important day for us because obviously we weren't slave anymore. No, that's actually wrong. the 1st of July was Emancipation Day, but we still needed to work for the Dutch people for 10 years after this date, so 1863. So even though we weren't slave anymore, we still had a contract for 10 years to work for the Dutch people. So, but still, 1st of July, we are proud of this date and yeah, Emancipation Day. Wij Slaven van Suriname is a book from Anton de Kom. He's also a writer, and he's one of I would say most important person in Suriname. Okay, not the most important, but he's pretty important for the Surinamese culture. I haven't read the book. I have the book at home, but I haven't read it. I need to read the book. Yeah, what do I have to say? He fought for Suriname and for our country. Yeah.
And that's why he's known. So yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.